Hi, Kimmy. It's Ashley here. It was interesting hearing your response because we chose the same one. We both chose dual relationship as the ethical standard for counselors. It was interesting hearing your take because I noticed that you had said that you want to be a school counselor for the school that you already work in. So that's one. You already have a background with the school community. You have worked with several students as their teacher, and you have worked with several families as the students' teachers as well. So that is a very different um, and a different transition, I guess, compared to other teachers who become a counselor. They usually get a job at a different school where they, for the most part, don't know any of the students and their families. And then the second part that you had mentioned was that you work in high school. Um, and it's very different from elementary. Um, One thing I get scared of a lot all the time, and I feel elementary is important and crucial, but I feel high school, you have to have that guard up. You have to have that boundary, that standard set in place, and know that you're not playing around with the students because they're older, and then they'll want to try to test you and see what they can get away with, or what, and any given moment can look like the wrong thing, and then it can get taken twisted into this whole different scenario. And I just always get fearful when I see on the news about these relationships that these professionals have with the underage students. Specifically, it's usually in high school or middle school, and I just always get fearful of that. I don't know, it just always rubs me the wrong way, and it just scares me seeing that. Just because knowing that that could happen to anyone, or that could just happen in a glimpse. I don't know if those cases were true or if they weren't, but that's what makes me a little fearful in Jesus' name of that. So that's why I love how we have these standards to follow. And I feel like these standards, maybe to some people, they could be a burden, but I think you have to view it in a different way. I feel like these standards are your safety net. They're your safety guideline. If you follow them, you'll be fine in Jesus' name for the most part. I think if you follow them, you remain professional and you do your job and you are set with these boundaries, guidelines, standards, you're going to be okay. um, so I think it's good. I like how you mentioned healthy boundaries and how it was perceived in the business world as conflict of interest. It's good to have those boundaries with the students and your peers. Um, this past week, I had an incident where I didn't expect one with my coworker. He was my assistant from last year, and he crossed a boundary that I did not expect him to. So, and I said it straight, and I said no. We're in work. These are students are here. Anything can look like something is doing the wrong thing. I was like, no. So it's good to have that healthy boundary, and even with your coworkers, because one role it says with students, yes, sorry, going back, I'm reading the notes from your video, to just ensure that you have one role with students. And I talked to my admin this past week about it, and it's just making sure you have one row. I mean, you are just a counselor. For now, we're just their teacher. We're just their coworker. And then when we be counselors, we're just a counselor. We're nothing else. We're not their friend. We are. I see it as the adult in their life that's going to listen to them when no one else will, and be that hope that they need if they don't have it anywhere else. Let's go to the next part. I noticed that how you had said it gets a little tricky. The school personnel going to harm the students' counseling relationship, just to make sure that the relationships you have with your coworkers and the students' families, just to be careful with them, because You had mentioned that one of your students was dating the brother of a teacher from a different school or something like that, or making sure you going to church with the family. I feel like I have always worked in the same city as where I teach, and this school year I don't. Actually, last school year. Um, so I live in an area where it's like lots of tiny cities, and you just kind of make it one big city. It's called the Rio Grande Valley. Last year I lived like 30 minutes away from school, and this year I moved and I live like still like almost 30 minutes, like 25, but a different area. And I had never seen it like this, but now that I have experienced it, I love it because I can go to the store looking like how I look right now. I am not a teacher. Right now I'm not a professional. Right now I'm just me. Okay, just a mom and just a person. And I just want to go to the grocery store and get food, or I just want to go to the store and or I want to go to the gym. I have lots on my mind and I just want to de-stress. And I just love working now that I have experience in it. I love working in a different city than where I work. I mean, living in a different city than where I work, because it's just I don't have to run into my students or their families or my coworkers as much. The chances are lower, and I really appreciate that. Not that I don't dislike the people or anything like that. I just love having that little boundary, just having that little, okay, to me it's peaceful. It's not that I have negative relationships with anyone or anything. I just like having that little gate, I guess, or that little window door to just kind of like close it. I'm not a counselor, I'm not a teacher right now. I'm just me. And the benefits are your students are able to trust you. They're giving fairness. I think that fairness is key, because you want to make sure you're being fair to anyone, no matter their race, their gender, anything, their situation, just treating all of them the same. Like, and I feel like deep down I would feel bad if I treated someone differently just because they were different. I always think of it as my son. I'm like, how would I want his teacher to treat him? How would I want the counselor to treat him in his situation? Things like that. Okay, Kimmy, well, I'm going to stop it here because this response is getting really long, but I enjoyed listening to your point of view from the same standard I chose, and we'll see you next week.